Because, you kind of said, like, I've grown up in Uganda. I'm like, oh,
Did I?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You're like, oh, I grew up in Uganda.
Did I actually, or did you hear that?
That's what you said.
Oh, but no.
Okay. Welcome to Pal Exchange.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Bailey.
I'm Ian.
And for those of you that don't know, I grew up in the U.S. and then lived in Uganda for about a year.
And I'm born and raised in Uganda, and I've been in the U.S. for about approximately 1 year now.
Yes, and on this show, we have conversations about culture, lifestyle, and just our experiences of living in both Uganda and the U.S.
Very true.
Yes. So, since we've began this channel, we have had a few questions popping up, and so we thought we'd take a moment to just address a few of those.
Iron them out.
Exactly. This isn't a Q&A episode,
Sure.
but we just thought we'd take some time at the beginning to talk it through.
Very true.
The first of those questions is, what's the story behind your name?
What is Pal Exchange?
Why Pearl Exchange?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to explain the first part, Ian?
First part is we kind of looked at, since we're actually talking about Uganda, and Uganda is known as the Pearl of Africa.
Exactly.
So we were like, we'll just scrap out the word Pearl from Pearl of Africa to explain Uganda. Yeah.
And then exchange, well, we've both lived in both countries, the US and Uganda, and so there's been some exchange of culture, and I've learned some about Ugandan culture and he's learned more about American culture, and just kind of the exchange of that.
And right now she can speak some Luganda.
Neda sebo.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
So, yes.
So there's been practically an exchange of cultures between the two countries right here.
Exactly. And another question that we have received a bit is if we are dating. And that is an understandable question. There are a lot of channels and accounts and things on social media where it is a cross-cultural couple sharing things about their lives.
Yeah.
Well, we are not dating.
Yeah, for those who actually thought me and Bailey are dating, we are just good friends, and that is it.
Yes. I am actually dating a Ugandan, but he is in Uganda currently. So, yes.
So, for those who are asking, please just know, me and her are just very good friends, and there is nothing going on between me and Bailey. The other concern was about the streaming platforms that we have.
Right.
And some people have asked whether we actually have Spotify streaming on Pearl Exchange. And I'm happy to say that we actually having Pearl Exchange streaming on Spotify next time we actually have a podcast.
Yes.
So you will be able to...
It's coming. Next episode.
Exactly.
We will be
watch out for that.
releasing on both YouTube and Spotify.
Sure. So we will be having that, so you just need to... So in case you can't watch, you can still listen in. Awesome.
Exactly. I think that about covers the main questions we've been receiving.
True.
But as always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out.
Keep them coming. We are actually ready to answer those questions.
Exactly.
Yes, keep them coming, and we will definitely, gladly answer those.
So leave a comment, DM us, whatever.
Yep.
We will consider your questions.
All right, and today we have a topic that we're actually going to be unleashing today, and that actually came from one of the viewers as well. Some of the viewers talked about something, and we actually saw it fit to actually talk about this today.
Yes, so today we're going to be talking about what some of the reactions we received were when we were first planning on going to the other country. So when I was first going to go to Uganda, and then also when I was returning to Uganda the second time, what people's reactions and questions were for us, because honestly, those reactions kind of reveal some perceptions that people have about either country.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be sharing about that a little bit, and might lead to some other conversations about the perceptions underlying people's reactions.
Sure. And then as well, when we always end this segment, don't forget we always have a call out, so you want to stay and stick around for that as well.
So, I guess I can begin.
Yeah.
When I was going to Uganda for the first time, and that was to study for 1 semester.
Yeah.
My final semester of undergrad. And so it's a pretty common thing for people, for like North American university students to study abroad.
Sure.
Several universities offer different programs that they're connected to.
Okay.
But typically, when someone from a North American country says they're studying abroad, it's usually somewhere in Europe.
Okay. Yeah, not in Africa.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And
Gotcha.
so, as I was sharing with friends and family, yeah, I'm going to be studying abroad next semester, and so that was kind of the first thing in most of their minds. And so then when I said in Uganda, they're like, huh? Like,
where is that?
Where? Yeah, I definitely had some questions of like, Uganda, that's in what continent? I was like, Africa, like, you know, or sometimes they would get it confused with
like, is that another country in Europe?
right, or like they would get it confused with other countries starting with the letter U, you know. But also, and you maybe have experienced this too, I noticed that there tends to be kind of a lumping together of African countries, and I have developed kind of strong feelings about that. But, you know, so people would hear that I'm going to Uganda, and if they did know that Uganda was in Africa, they might be like, oh, so-and-so that I know was in this African country, or that, and I'm like, okay, Africa's a whole continent.
Yeah.
I will not be crossing paths with so-and-so from, you know, that's actually in West Africa.
Yeah. I mean, people would actually think Africa is this kind of like a whole. I mean, the same thing happens to me. So, I mean, I'll talk to people back at home and be like, oh, by the way, the other guy lives in America. And I'm like, but America is this like very huge place.
Right.
And I will maybe never even get to other states. Yeah. So, I mean, they could be living in like a state away. So, the same thing applies to Africa in a whole. So, it's not like a one country, they're like different countries. Right.
Yeah. And many people living there. So it's not like, but, you know, I think that's just people's way of like, they want to find some bit of connection in what you're saying.
Yeah.
And they don't have a whole lot of connection to any African country. And so I bring up Uganda and they try to find some sort of commonality to feel like they can connect with me. Yeah. I also had quite a few questions of, okay, so are you going to be volunteering or doing mission work? Because
going to be working with a church.
Right, exactly, with a church or with a nonprofit organization or an NGO.
Okay.
That was kind of the common assumption. Even when I would tell people, no, like, I'm studying there, I'm going to be a student intern.
Yeah.
There was usually the, African country, so you've got to be doing mission work, right? Or you've got to be volunteering, that sort of a thing. And so that really kind of opened my eyes to how that is the common perception of a lot of Americans, of people's reasonings for going to African countries.
To Africa. Yeah.
And again, I don't fully blame people because that's, you know, a lot. That's what they know. They don't know.
And a lot of people who actually go to Africa, in particular, and they are from these countries, they'll actually go to do missionary work in Africa and all. I mean, it will be very rare to find an American going to Uganda to school.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, kind of quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, and it was also a bit difficult for people to understand that I was going to be studying at a university.
Yeah. Do they think Africa?
Right, like they think Africa and they picture more like the village.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did receive the question from a couple of people. I think I mentioned this on a different episode, but
Yeah.
you know, so are you going to be living in like a grass thatched hut? Like,
Yeah.
and again, can't fully blame people because that's usually, I think that's a common image that
Mhm.
people in the U.S., you know, see of African countries, and so.
Yeah, like I had a couple, like a few friends I told about, like, hey, I live in Uganda,
Yeah.
and they're like, wait, so do you in Uganda? Do you live like under a hut? Like as like hut, like we have houses,
Yeah.
like real houses. Yeah, so there are a lot of misconceptions out here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so honestly, even before going to Uganda, I started to learn and realize some of the perceptions that people have
Mhm.
about African countries,
Mhm.
including Uganda. And with that, another question that I would receive is, are you going to be safe?
Yeah.
And well,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, I lived through it. Here
Actually,
I am.
In one piece.
In one piece.
Very fine.
In one piece. I made it through.
So what does that tell you?
No, not taking the joking aside. Again, you hear stories of, you know, some like foreigner was in an African country and they were kidnapped. You know,
Yeah.
those are the stories that make it to news.
Very true.
You don't hear about the countless others that have gone and come back, and you know, it was
And I should say like in every other country there is crime.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not that Uganda, or if you go to this African country, oh, you may not come back, or
Right.
there is this happening. And you know, a lot of people will talk about only the bad things that happen in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, leaving out the good things that actually happen.
Mhm.
I mean, you come to the US as well, something can easily happen to you as
Exactly.
well. I mean, it's a safe country and all, but then still there are things that may fail to go well in the country. So it's like, it's the world we live in. I
Right,
mean,
right.
there are still the good things and there's still the bad things.
Yes.
So,
And that was one of my main responses to people is,
Yeah.
you know, sure there are some risks, but guess what? There are risks every day in the
Very
country
true.
that I live in as well. And in every country, yes, there are the good and there's the good and the bad, and you will find it anywhere you go.
yeah.
And so I could let, you know, a few of the risks keep me from ever leaving my country and leaving my
know.
comfort zone, but then I would miss out on so many experiences and so much learning. And so that was kind of one of my reassurances I would try to give them.
Very true.
But also, I was going to be studying within a program. I was going to be staying on campus at Uganda Christian University.
And not
where
by
there's-
yourself.
Not by myself. I had a roommate. Like, I had such a support system that was literally created for me.
Yeah. For you to
that-
succeed and be
yes,
safe
exactly.
wherever you're
We
going.
received so much training, and training sounds so formal, but you know, we were given, you know, some information about our context, and we were given guidelines for safety and just, you know, general advice on being wise. And so I was within a support system. I had a lot of helpful information and a
Yeah.
lot of guides around me, and so that was a huge reassurance to me as I was entering into my semester, and then throughout my whole semester in Uganda
Sure.
was, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I had people to ask questions to. I had, you know, I had
Yeah.
health support. I had so many things,
Yeah.
so many resources. So, truly, probably more support than, I would have normally
Sure.
here. So,
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So what about for you then? When you were preparing to come to the U.S.,
Transitioning to come and actually
Yes.
live here.
who did you tell? What did they say?
So I don't know. It's an African thing. most of the times when you're actually going to travel, not by bus,
Mm-hmm.
not by car, not by taxi,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're actually going to fly,
Mm-hmm.
most of the times you keep it a secret. You keep it to yourself. You don't want to tell everyone about it. Okay, so when I got the news of actually getting selected as one of the DV lottery winners,
Yeah.
I kept it a secret. I told a very few people about this because, I mean, don't count your eggs before they hatch. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll be telling people, "Oh, I'm leaving next year," and then you fail to leave, and they'll be like, "What happened?" You know, things like that.
Yeah.
So I made sure I kept this a secret, not until I got. Now, my family, in my entire family, no one knew about it apart from my sister,
Wow.
because I used to live with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when my visa came out and I actually had it in my hands, that's when I called my dad. I'm like, "Hey, where you at? Are you like home? Do you have any plans for today?" I was in Kenya, and I was like, "If you have any plans, just drop those plans because I'm coming home and I want to see you today."
Okay.
And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." I think he had to like go for like a wedding somewhere, so he had to cancel that. And he's like, "Okay, I'll come. I'll wait for you." And then I got home and I told him. So I told him like a week before I left.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to keep this a secret. And to some people, I mean, I never really told, not until the actual day I was leaving.
Okay.
And I knew it was like generally confirmed.
Right. Like it's actually happening, so now
Yeah, no one can stop me.
yeah.
The other thing is one of the reasons why you actually never really want to tell people. I'll give you an example. I'll not mention names here, but then I had a friend I had known for about 6-7-ish years.
Okay.
He was my very good friend. He actually helped me get my first internship job
Okay.
while in Uganda, and I had known him for quite a while. He would like help me in like things I needed, like in case I needed guidance, I'll actually go to him. Like he was a good friend. So my bank account, all my money to like get my ticket was on my bank account.
Right.
So, and it's quite a huge amount of money. My bank
For
had
the plane ticket.
yeah, for the plane ticket. So my bank had a cap on how much I can actually purchase online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I couldn't use my card to like get to pay for that ticket.
Okay.
So I was forced to tell someone. I didn't want to go through agents as well. I wanted to do it
Right.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I was forced to tell one of my friends, which was this elderly person. I told, I'm like, I got this opportunity. Sorry, I didn't tell you about it, but I'm supposed to be leaving in a few days from now. I'm trying to get my plane ticket, and my bank has a problem. He's like, no, mine is fine.
There wasn't the same limit. On
Yeah,
this. Okay.
his limit, because he had traveled, so and he's like done this before.
Okay.
He's like, send it, say like you can put it on my account. And trust me, I transferred all the funds I had on my account to his account. Okay.
That's a lot of trust.
Yeah, that's a lot of trust, because I mean, he's like an elderly guy. He's, you know, he's not my age. Like he's fit to be my dad. So I'm like, he understands what this means to me. It like means for me, you know. So yeah, I transferred all my friends my money to his account, and he like
for the tickets to be purchased.
yeah,
through his account.
for some reason the bank transfer took a while for the money to populate on his account. He's like, oh, it will populate tomorrow, so we had to wait for the next day.
Okay.
And mind you, the tickets every day, the tickets prices were like going high and high and high. You get. So I'm like, the following day I call him and he's like, oh, there's a burial that's happening. The other day I call him and he's like, I'm at work. The other day I call him, he's like, sorry, I took a short trip, but I'll be back. I'm like, this guy is just playing around. The other day, so the last time I called him, he told me he was at church.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm probably going to go on a motorcycle, border, and go over to his home. I reached his home and he was right there, and he told me he was at church. And I'm like, hey guy, you know how much this means to me.
Yeah.
And I've told you how prices are going high. I don't have this money.
Right.
Like, you know. And for some reason, he's like, oh man, I'm very sorry. I told you I was coming. I'm like, no, you don't want to lie to me. Okay, let's just definitely. I mean, to cut this story short, I almost even like wanted to like get police involved in all, but then God willingly, we went to the bank. He got my money, gave it to me, and I had to use other different avenues to like, you know, to purchase the ticket. Okay. So that is like one of the things. I mean, not everyone will actually wish you well. You know, coming right here, they'll be like, maybe you're getting more successful than them or something. Right. That would actually lead me to my next point. When people thought I was coming to the US, so everyone thought I was rich. I'm getting rich, I'm going to get money and all. I mean, it's a misconception in one way or the other. Because when you're here and you convert the US currency to Ugandan currency, that's a little bit much money, because $1 is approximately 3,500 or 50 Ugandan shillings. And if you like have much of the US dollar, then you have a lot of money in Uganda. Right. So people would think, yeah, you're going to get rich. And which is actually not it.
Right. Because the US dollar does not go as far in the US economy.
Yeah.
You know?
So the US dollar in itself is not converted to any other currency for you to become higher. So it's like you being in Uganda and you're just using your regular money that you have, not converted to any other currency you get. So when you're here, you get a $20 and spend it on something that
that can be like one meal sometimes, depending on what restaurant you go to.
Yeah, like you go to a restaurant, spend $20 on a meal, but if you convert that money to Uganda, then it may be a little bit more. But then matching the standards, like it's a little bit different with what it is here. I mean, if I had this money, maybe like the $20 in Uganda, then that would be a lot of money. But then that doesn't take away the fact that I am still the same person who was in Uganda. It's like just a different level of lifestyle that I'm living here.
Yeah, the cost of living is in line with the US dollar, and so it's expensive to pay for rent and
I mean, you pay
your electricity and
gas on a daily. Sometimes you want to eat out in a nice restaurant.
But even if you're not eating in a nice restaurant, like groceries, getting food is expensive.
You should see. I mean, you go to grocery store and it is like you'd see something like maybe like $5 or $6. By the time you get out of the grocery store, you spend about $150, and you're like, how did this even come up? But then the cost of living is high,
right?
You know, the other misconception or the other thing that people were expected of me was like, oh, you're gonna get us jobs, you know, and
seeing your opportunity as an opportunity for them.
Exactly.
Did you have people like, I don't know, trying to kind of get on good terms with you then?
Yeah, like, I mean, I had, talking about relationship wise, people would actually, I mean, maybe like try to, talk to you and want to be, I won't say not everyone who maybe would actually talk to you is actually having a wrong intention.
Right.
But some people would actually be like, okay, now since he lives there, or I could maybe talk to him, and maybe if this gets better, then he could be an avenue for me to like get to the US, get a green card or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was that too. So a lot of things people would actually look through and they're like, I think I can benefit around this area through this person, you know. Like the jobs, people would call you and they're like, hey, I think you can get me a job, don't you? Is there, whereas you can easily find jobs like around, but then some jobs are only limited to people who are living here.
Yeah.
And sometimes you also need a certain kind of experience for you to have those jobs. And as well, job hunting still continues. Like the way you do it in any other country is how you actually do it here. I have friends who are actually still looking for jobs and they're out of college and they're still looking for a right job. Even me, when I got here, I kind of like went through a different series of jobs to like get to my actual started job. You know, so we have a little different things that people would actually think, and they're like, now that it's there, this can be cleared and all. So I mean, yeah, it's not the same. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, and so okay, that was
that was a lot.
yeah, it was a lot. But and I feel like that in what you said too, there's so much more that we could go further in, but for sake of time, we will not.
Yeah.
But I guess I can mention in my return to Uganda. So I studied abroad in Uganda for 1 semester, came back to the U.S. and graduated, and then I went back to Uganda because I was offered a job with the program that I had studied through. And so then there was a kind of whole other set of reactions when I was returning to Uganda.
Okay.
Some of the same ones, you know.
Yeah.
But at least I had, you know, the experiences of my semester in Uganda to like the country.
Right.
To like give...
I could give it another try.
Well, I had those experiences too to be able to better address people's questions of, you know, safety and them thinking that I would, you know, like... I now had photos, you know, I now had stories, and so I could
at that times
do more explaining.
At that times while you're in Uganda, you would like FaceTime family, friends back here and show them what it is actually like.
Right, exactly.
But we actually,
I would send
we
photos,
actually have running water.
Right.
We actually have light. We actually have, some places have nice roads.
Right, or... Yes, I'm in a dorm, just like I would be at my home university, you know, like being able to show that as well. And so, yeah, that equipped me to be able to answer some of the questions or reactions that I would have from people.
Sure.
And it also reduced on the amount of questions I received because at least those that know me or that had a chance to hear a little bit about my experience during the semester, they, you know, gained some perspective through that as well.
Sure.
But then when I was telling people I was going back, one common thing was I had some people ask me like, "Oh, so did you meet someone there? So is that why you're going back?" Which was not true.
Sure.
At all.
So
Actually,
it was not true?
No, it was not true.
Okay.
I didn't meet my boyfriend until much later. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, I would have that conversation with people. They'd be like, "Oh, has to be a reason she wants to go back," and I was like, "No, people, it's a job. It's a job." You know?
There should be a catch. Why are you going back to Uganda?
Exactly. And so I had to go over that one more times than I liked. And then it was also difficult to explain my job to people.
Yeah, what you actually do.
Because I was working with a study abroad program at a university. And so, like, I wasn't working with an organization. I wasn't doing missions, but I, you know, also wasn't studying. So it was kind of this, like, third category that people didn't really have any context for because you don't hear of people doing that. You know, like this is a very, like, niche thing, and so...
it's like you were like an in between.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
How do you explain being?
And it was strange because, you know, I was living at the university and working at the university, so it was like I wasn't a student, but I interacted with students. Like, so it was a strange in between, and so that made it difficult to explain what I was doing to both Americans and Ugandans. Like,
I mean,
this is what I'm here for.
You're not a student, but you're living at campus. Like, so what is it like? Like,
yes.
How do you explain that? So
so that became difficult, but eventually I kind of found words to use, or I would, you know, go along with it because sometimes I realized they don't need to know exactly what I'm doing. Like, sure, yes, that satisfies it. That's good enough, people's understanding. So.
All right. So, just as we said, at the end of this episode, every time and then we always have call out. And so, I mean, you gotta stick to this video, as I said, to the end to get to know the call out. And today's call out is...
Mm-hmm. So, context, called out, we talk about some sort of word or phrase that is maybe a bit different in Uganda compared to in the States.
Yeah, something that has the same meaning but different wording for the different countries.
Mm-hmm. Or vice versa, if it's a word that means something different in the two places.
Sure.
So, today in our conversations, it has come up of college.
Yeah.
Or, I think a couple times I may have said university.
Yep.
And that is...
You've mentioned university today in this episode a number of times, and I'm like, wait, is this guy American?
So, college and university, terms that kind of mean different things, or they're used differently, I guess.
Yeah.
And I adapted to the Ugandan way a bit, to the point where when I came back to the States, and one of my first couple times of talking with Ian, and you noticed that I was saying university, and not college, and so you kind of paused. You're like, what?
Yeah, because you know why? I was kind of like used to something, because I was kind of like trying to adapt to the way of like how people call things here.
Right.
And then you come here and you're American and you're like, university, and I'm looking at you, I'm like, what is she even talking about? Like, I think, is there any other kind of university that she's talking about?
Right.
But then, yeah.
I mean, in the same way, I was adapting to the way that things were said in Uganda and had just recently come back. So I think being around a Ugandan, I kind of like was still in that,
cycle.
Yes, that way of talking. And so then, whereas in the first bit of time that I was back in the States for, and I would be talking with Americans, I would sometimes have to like think about, okay, wait, no, what do Americans call, like, you have to think about it. You have to, they call it code switching often.
Most of the times, like, if you stick as well, still on the episodes, you actually hear a lot of these different called outs, but then sometimes I'll actually think of like, I'll code switch in my head as well, and I'm like, what is this called here?
Right.
Then,
or, who am I speaking with? So which term do I use? And in this case, we are talking to, we're talking to each other, but then we have an audience of both Ugandans and Americans and Canadians and,
the whole world.
All sorts of, people from all sorts of places. And so, that makes it so that we don't know always which term to use. Or
so
even as we're speaking, we'll sometimes be thinking like, okay, now wait, do I say it this way or that way? Or sometimes I just avoid the word altogether. Because I don't want to have to
explain it.
Right, explain it. Or take the time to, mention all the different words that might be understood. So sometimes I will just find a different word to use.
So today's called out, for those who are still wondering, like, what is the called out? Today's called out in Uganda, we will call what you call in the US
college
university. So college in Uganda is university, and university for the US is college.
Yeah. Even you phrasing that, I'm like, what? Wait.
Yeah.
So yes, after high school, you graduate from high school, and then you want to get your bachelor's degree.
Sure.
You would go to college. Is what we would call it in the US.
In the US. And after high school in Uganda, and you want to go and do a major in the US, that you would say, you would go to a university. Sometimes, if you find, as the Gen Zs, we would call it campus. Yeah. And
what does college mean in Uganda?
So for college in Uganda, it's I mean, if someone says I'm going to college, we'll actually not feel like it's university,
Right.
because
You're not thinking, a bachelor's degree.
No.
You are thinking
It's not a bachelor's degree. I'm thinking something like tertiary kind of thing, like something like you're going to like learn something that you're going to use either your hands, or,
okay.
like building,
Yep.
welding,
Right.
carpentry.
And so
things
it's more
like that.
hands-on stuff. And we do have in the US, they're called technical colleges.
Okay.
Where it is more that it is training for professions that are more hands-on.
Yeah.
So like carpentry or plumbing or things like that, where it is more tactical, I guess.
Well, it's a little bit different because there's no one in Uganda who will refer to university as college.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're actually going to like do hands work, like in that college you're going to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think where it also gets confusing is that colleges in the US might have college in the name, or they might have university in the name.
Yeah.
I grew up in Minnesota. There's University of Minnesota.
Okay. Not
But
college
that's a
of
college.
Minnesota. Yeah.
The University of Minnesota is a college in that it's a place you go after graduating from high school, and it's a place where you can get your bachelor's degree.
And a lot of people in the US, how much it's like University of Minnesota, people want to refer to it as university.
Mm-hmm.
They still refer to it as college.
Right.
Yeah.
And for my case, the place where I got my bachelor's degree has college in the name. But then in talking with Ugandans, if I said college, like if I said the name,
They'll never
then
get
they
it.
wouldn't understand what I was
Yeah.
meaning. So I just got used to saying my university, my home university.
Yeah. So.
Even though university wasn't in the name, because
Yeah.
college would be misleading.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So.
hopefully we didn't make that more confusing
I don't know.
than
If we did.
it already was.
I mean, we did a lot of explaining. Hopefully, you got it.
Yes.
But then, if you still didn't, hey, leave a comment down there. Tell us what you actually need us to explain
Yes.
better next time, and we'll be able to do that.
Because as we're learning, not only is it confusing and getting used to the different terms, but it can be confusing explaining them.
Yeah. Very confusing. I mean, I'll know something. This means this, but and how do I actually explain it to
Right.
the
How do I
viewers?
explain the meaning of it? And then again, explaining the meaning of it to people in both, in two different contexts.
And still you get it, because we want you to get what we're explaining. So how do I explain so that you actually get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but otherwise,
Yes. We will work on it.
very true. So hopefully that irons out some of the call outs here as well. If you ever travel to the opposite countries, you will know exactly what term to use right there.
Yes.
It's been a beautiful moment having you guys here on PAL Exchange, and I hope we will see these guys later. How about that?
Yes. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Thanks for joining us.